Hello, and welcome back, fellow slicers and dicers. Tone here, ready for some more slice and dice today. Before we get started, I wanted to take a quick look at a run I played yesterday. It was pretty similar to the run that we played last session, which, minor spoiler here, was a loss on the boss, the hand. And we were playing a kind of like reroll. Well, we were doing a lot of stuff, but one of our strongest components was the dancer and these poison cantrip blades. And our strategy for the last boss was going to be capitalizing on these reroll cantrips because it was the hand who gives you +1 to those sides. So I figured those would be pretty strong sides there. We ultimately didn't hit any rerolls during the fight and lost pretty badly from turn 1. Pretty poor rolling in particular. I'm not going to dwell on that because I'm sure I talked about that more than enough during the actual episode. But yesterday I rolled an unfair run, and I was just curious to see this because I saw these two curses. Armor here, which at this tier gives you all the enemies 3 armor on turn 1, or 3 shield on turn 1. And then Undying Monsters, where all the monsters cannot be killed on the first turn. There's like 2 things that give like monsters some kind of defenses on the first turn. It feels like there's like a bit of a curse synergy here, where maybe these are less than the sum of our parts as far as the challenge that they would present. So I figured for 9 curse points, let's do that, and then I just took Spiky here, which was only 1 point. It wasn't too noticeable throughout this run in particular. And what I learned was that these 2 curses actually combine to make themselves much more difficult. Because like when you only have armor, like sometimes when you really need to kill something, you can still break through and kill an enemy, which is pretty helpful. When you have Undying Monsters, you can still put in a lot of damage on turn 1 and then kill the enemies like on the next turn. So you kind of end up with like very frequently like the same time to kill with this than you would otherwise, I think. Even though the turn 1s can be quite brutal. I'm actually surprised I got through this so smoothly because some fights, especially early, I was just like, wow, this is a brutal freaking combo. I don't want to take this again. I actually took an early Enchantress, which is... a lot of people say this is the worst tier 2 red. But I figured being able to self-shield to get more block in on the first turns was going to be nice. Like, the one thing that those 2 curses do have like a synergy for is that both of them want us to be able to play defensively on turn 1, and I felt that the Enchanter helped us do that because they actually have blocking and shielding on a red. So I went ahead and grabbed them. This boost was pretty nice. Actually, something I had, which was a neat combo, I just remembered, was Ninja with Copycat. I had a squad where I didn't have a lot of things I could copy well to put on the enemy. I didn't have like Weaken, Poison, Cleave, stuff like that. But with like the Enchantress, I had like Cleanse and Boost. I had Mana Gain on my blue, which I think I had the Fiend. No, where did Mana Gain come from? I don't remember actually. Oh, from this, and probably from something else. So what I had, which is kind of interesting, I'm just rambling a bit now, but I had the urn add enduring to the middle side, so when you replace this side, it keeps the previous keywords. So if I put in the urn on the ninja and then something else on top of it, it would keep Copycat. So I had the urn, and then I had this big heart, which replaces the middle side with heal 5. So I put those on the ninja, and I basically ended up with this with Copycat on it, which was pretty cool because having a 5 pip copycat and also one where I could direct this at target allies with instead of enemies worked really well for our team, because this turned into a boost for 5. It turned into a mana gain for 5. It was actually really clutch. I think I had someone with rescue on it, so 5 rescue was something I was able to do. Actually, no, that wasn't with the ninja. I actually used that same combo of Urn with the big heart on my tier 3 to make this a 5 heal rescue, which is pretty cool. Now this lost on the turn 1 shielding, but having the rescue on that was pretty neat for a big 5 heal. Got some decent value out of that. But yeah, it was kind of interesting playing towards that, and obviously I ended up getting the win here. I ended up with the roulette. I actually was very limited in my hero picks. I was offered Statue and Fiend first, and Statue is like a pretty terrible thing to take on floor 2 before you even have any items. Especially when I'm trying to block, be able to shield on turn 1. Like, sure, on turn 1 the Statue could absorb a lot of hits, which would be nice if enemies would attack them on turn 1, but if anyone else was taking hits on turn 1, like if someone was dying, I'd be able to do nothing because I had no shields in my party. So he felt particularly unpickable there. But yeah, I ended up with the roulette. I forget what I was faced with as my opposite to this, so I took the roulette, which... They have this 7 damage... Basically, if you roll this side at all, you die. It may as well say Death Cantrip on it. But otherwise, they have some pretty decent sides. So I had grabbed that. And because of that, I took Valkyrie, so I could get these Undying... Or no, it was so I could get the revive here. I guess Undying would work as well. So I felt like that worked pretty well with the roulette. I ended up getting something that replaced the left side. That was another thing about the roulette. It was my first tier 3, which means you have a lot of options to find items that replace the left side. I happened to find the sushi, which I would never take otherwise, at least without a synergy like this. I might take it with this or like the doctor or something, I'm not sure. This is probably the first time I've ever taken that. But it replaced this side, and it gave the roulette a really good synergy with their cantrip sides. But yeah, that made the Valkyrie kind of null, at least for the purpose I had originally taken them. And I found the Surgeon as well, which I would have just taken this over the Valkyrie if this came up first, or I could just use Operate if my roulette ever died from their side. But yeah, we ended up fighting the hand again, and I had another 2 cantrips on you, 2 cantrips on them, and then those upgraded to 3 cantrips when you factor in the hand's abilities, handicap. 3 pip cantrips, I should say, which was, it's better than what my other guys had, were only 1 pip. But it was kind of like the same strategy, and I got like 30 rolls on turn 1, and they had Undying, but everyone had 1 hit point. So, I don't know, it was pretty interesting. I fully expected to lose this run, even from the beginning. I just picked these as like an experiment because I'd never seen this combo come up before. It ended up being a pretty, you know, there's a lot of luck and RNG in these runs. I think I probably played this run better overall, but lost. But ended up winning this one pretty handily thanks to hero picks and items and stuff, and just the way things went. But it was pretty interesting playing these 2 curses like that. It was pretty eye-opening. And yeah, as I learn the game, I have less opportunities to like just do something to like figure out something new and learn something. I mean, we learned stuff, like lots of stuff every run, but like there was a period for the first couple of weeks after 2.0 came out that I was just like doing stuff I would never do otherwise, which this was something like that. I would never take these if I was like, my goal was to just try and win this run, regardless of all things. But I wanted to learn something and had a lot of fun there. But I digress. Just figured I'd share that because it was a cool observation and a fun run, and that similarity to our other run at the end there I thought was pretty interesting. But to get on to today's run that we're going to start here right now, let's just jump into another unfair run. I'm having a blast on the unfair difficulty and I want to continue playing it and doing it for this channel here. A lot of fun with Slice and Dice lately. So let's just jump into an unfair run then. By the way, if you guys would like to support this channel and my other related projects, you can do so over at patreon.com/Tonehack. So feel free to take a look at that. And without further ado, let's pick our curses here. One of the most important things you will do in a Slice and Dice run. This is interesting. I think the minus item curses are the worst ones, typically. -1, -2 look awful to me. -3 for 7 is really intriguing, though. Because you're kind of just giving up items as your curse, because this represents so many points. That's really interesting. We'd have to have a good 3 to pair it with, which we actually have a lot of options here. Monster HP plus with 5 as the baseline, I don't like at all. There's a lot of enemies that have 5 that I don't want to give more HP to. In particular, snakes are a big one. Slates aren't too bad, because this HP, you can actually do more than one. So if you do 3 damage to a slate, then you end up in the same position, whether or not they have these on your first hit, of course. Let's see. Add deplete to all spells. Stony Grasp I've found is pretty awful. Like, this is treated as less hostile of a curse as having just the top side be blank, which is pretty rough to begin with, I think. But this is like worse, because even if you replace the top side, it becomes petrified, and cleansing this actually is like a pretty high cost most of the time and doesn't always happen. So this feels like actually a worse topside blank to me. I'm probably going to avoid this in general. Like, I think I like the 2 right side blanks more than this, for a number of reasons. Items work a lot better with those as well, because a lot of items replace your right sides more than your top side, probably, if I had to guess. Let's see, we have Skulk here, which I think is fine. Frail Edges is something I don't think I've had the opportunity to really play with, but has it. I think it's a popular one that a lot of players like to take. And it seems not too bad in general. I wouldn't mind trying this out. So how this works is for the top and bottom heroes, if you have gained no shields this turn, ×2 to incoming damage. That basically means if one of these guys is getting hit, you have to block for them, but you're going to want to, because you're going to be saving a ton of damage. So, our options here are really... We could take 4 from down here, which I don't think I want to touch Stony Grass, so it becomes Spider, Depleted Spells, Frail Edges, Skulk. It's actually not awful. Oh, I forgot Depleted Spells is... This is per fight, not per round. This is pretty bad. I actually don't like Depleted Spells. I think I don't want to touch Monster HP, because what this curse set seems to be wanting us to do is take 5, 2, and then a 3. I'm really tempted to try the worst items. I feel like... I don't know if I have all the curses available in my almanac to look at. Where are the worst item ones? No, I don't have many shown here. I reset my stuff a while ago. Just don't. Oh, don't include generated? So I feel like curse items, or worse items, -1 is like 1 or 2 points, and that never felt worth it. I think -2 is like 3 or 4 points, which didn't feel worth it to me. Because you're still adding a lot of difficulty and other curses on top of that, and I think getting -1 or 2 level, it means you start getting good items later. And there is like a point where a lot of the early items are just bad. Like, I never expect anything out of like my tier 1, 2, 3 items. Usually you'll find something pretty solid, and some of them can be like really good in the right parties or with synergies. But overall, I don't really expect the game to give me anything good there. Once you get into like the mid tiers, like 5, 6, even 4s, like some of those items could end up being really good. So delaying that is bad, but then also like a lot of the tier 8 and 9 items are like run defining. I guess not run defining, but they'll define your last few floors. Like they'll define your strategy and your party and stuff. Even some of the tier 7s. And so you actually just lose tier 9 items in general, and like also tier 8 or 9s for the -1. Now with this, -3 items means we basically play without items for half the game, and then we don't get those like late game, like really good items. But we don't have to deal with anything else except for another 3 points of curses, which I would probably take like Spider or Frail Edges. I'm really tempted to grab this. And I haven't even looked at our party yet. We have Scoundrel, which I don't like that much. Student, I'm not a huge fan of. Splint is great. Really solid. Especially with Slice, it's not too bad. Generate some mana for that Slice. Scoundrel's okay, honestly, just like super inconsistent, which we don't like, especially early on. Brigand is solid. Getting this 3 damage out front is pretty valuable. This party's okay. You know, this is kind of like that other curse set I was talking about from my last run. I really just want to try this. I don't know if... I actually think it might be the best thing here, but I think I just want to try it anyways and see how it feels. I've never seen this curse before. I could definitely see a world where re-rolling this is the best option, but I think Worst Items Frail Edges doesn't feel that bad, and I want to test that theory, so let's give it a go. So this guy's getting attacked, so they're taking double damage from this rat. We got some pretty good rolls here right off the get-go, I think. Like, I'm not even gonna try to block because I can just kill this rat. Oh, look at this. So... probably just exert the rat. Then we do something like... what are you doing? Inflict pain? That's fine. That flea actually made it really easy. Alright, we get a hero upgrade here. We get to get rid of the Scoundrel and just add, like, damage. I don't like this going into the Thorn fight. I'm gonna have to pay attention to what heroes synergize more with items than others. Which I think a hero built like around cantrips often do like to have certain item synergies. But I'm always gonna skew towards DPS. The medic actually looks decent, but I don't think it's... I'm gonna take the juggler here. I'm just concerned about taking the juggler versus the thorn. I don't know if the thorn counts as incoming, so if I hit them with a cantrip, if I'd be taking 10 damage, I guess we might find out. I think this is incoming though. I don't think that counts as incoming when it's like a reaction. Look at that. The juggler shield cantrip prevented my student from their frail edges curse. The boar was just like slaughtering them. So this guy went from doing 8 damage to 3 with 1 shield, which is pretty cool. We keep that for sure. I think we want the juggler to hit the thorn, but with their 2 damage. I need to take this to save the splint. I guess the Brigand could exert to hit the Thorn, but they don't have a 2 damage side. Okay, it did do 10 damage. Good to know. I hope that doesn't bite us on the next floor having them like that. I actually didn't think it would count, but I guess it does. Oh, wait. Didn't make sense blocking the splint because we removed their damage anyways. Now I assume like poison damage isn't incoming damage, but I guess whatever... What's the text for a Thorn say? Damage the attacker? I guess that counts as incoming damage. Noted. Alright, well I think we have to block our student. Alright, how's the math work for do we want exert for you? We can probably assume that we're going to get 2 bursts on you. Yeah, I don't think exert matters much. I'm just going to take that. I think we just grab that. A little slower fight here because we don't have the juggler. Okay. Alright, our first item. Oh, wow. So we're being given a negative... Oh, this is weird. I didn't realize worse items did this. It become... Okay, that's way worse than I thought it was. It's not giving us... So we would normally get a tier 1 item here at a base. This isn't giving us a tier 1 item. Or like a tier 0 item. It's giving us a tier -2 item. Which is a curse. So now not only is this a 7-point curse, it's also giving us more curses. Okay, that just got way worse. Oof, I'm actually dreading this run. I'm assuming that this will give me a random tier -2 item. In which case, I feel like that needs to be worded a bit differently. So I'm actually going to screenshot this because I might share that. Because I think that might be misleading. I think I kind of want to pick that just to find out. Actually, you know what? We can put this into paste mode and see. Do some science. So I don't have to do that just for science's sake. Oh, paste mode doesn't offer you. Okay, never mind. Well, Pharaoh's Curse is absolutely terrible. -1 to all sides is an awful, awful item. I think this is like a 2-point curse normally. When you take it, and it just seems so bad for that. Slimed must be equipped. Cannot be re-rolled. I guess that does okay on... Wait, cannot be re-rolled. That's worse than cannot be locked. I want to see what this does. Yeah, so it gives us a random -2 item. Okay, so everything I said about worse items -3 is wrong, because I didn't realize items would give you cursed items. And I mean, that means we're going to take like 3 points worth of curses on top of this. I thought for 7 that this was a decent bargain. considering this, it's freaking awful. And that actually makes the -2 one pretty bad too, because that gives you a -1 item. So upon death, kill all allies. So this means one of my characters, if they die, we lose the whole run. Interesting. I think we take Exert here. This guy does top damage when we hit this pip to the juggler, which is unfortunate because they're on low health. And actually, that means we need to block for them for sure. I think I just keep this so I can block the student, which saves them. Nice. Did it instead. Just reroll this juggler then. So now I'm gonna have you block them so that you're not getting the 4 damage from this, as we learned with the thorns. Is what that would likely be. And we'll just wrap up that floor. Okay, Bard and Druid versus a Troll. Kind of dig that the Druid has a cleanse, they generate mana. They have a pretty solid spell, because AoE can be really good. And they have a damage side, even if I don't really want to... Well, actually, I do want to roll that sometimes. The Bard, on the other hand, really good with Frail Edges, because they shield 1 to all allies. I like their charge side, the reroll's always a plus, and they have single use. I think these are both pretty solid heroes. Do any of these work better with this Wretched Crown that I have to consider with every choice we make going forward now? The Bard probably keeps people alive more. Neither of them have a huge HP pool, but he does have this burst shield, which can be nice for that. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the Druid, I think. Just because it represents more damage. I'm gonna go through this on you. They have a shield too, which helps a bit with the Frail Edges. I'm just throwing this on you because you have a lot of health. And I don't think I want to throw you on someone with the Frail Edges. Quote unquote, a lot of health. Everything is relative here. I think we just take this 2 mana. It's basically 2 damage. Clutch Cantrip Shield, that actually works really well with these Frail Edges. So that saved you a bunch of health. I feel like I should keep this. Yeah, at the very least, I know someone will be able to block for you. Force Shield, I may as well take that. I'm gonna keep this. If I roll any of these, it's the same damage as this overall, and I don't want to roll anything else, so yeah, we'd keep that. No harm in re-rolling this. Oh, we rolled that 3 times in a row. Okay. So I actually only need to block you for 2. You're only taking 2 damage if I shield you. I think we keep that Druid topped off with that Wretched Crown, which scares me a bit. The Juggler should be some pretty nice AoE in this fight. Or, not AoE, just direct single target damage in this fight. Since every time we roll one of these cantrips, it's just going to put it on them. Same idea as last time, we'll keep that 2 pip. I'll reroll these. I'm looking for damage from the druid, which we got. We just, oh, we can kill. I didn't look at their health. I was like trying to figure out the most optimal, like efficient thing we can do there, and it didn't matter. We had like a million options to end that fight right there, no matter what I did. Snakes in a barrel. I think our party has potential to kill this barrel turn 1, which would be good help in this fight. You guys know how I feel about snakes. This barrel makes the 3 snakes a lot better, though. And the barrel does factor in as a way to reduce the difficulty of this fight. But we do have to add another curse to our party, so what do we do here? Martyr? Add death and +1 to the 2 left sides. That's freaking awful. Our handcuffs, -1 item slot. So someone just gets no items. Considering we're not going to get a lot of good items anyways, I think we just take this. I don't really know what else is in that item pool for the -1 tier. I think there's a lot of pretty light ones, but I think we're not going to really regret this. Curious though. Yeah, I'm not allowed to put that on there. That's funny. They only have 1 item slot there. Really concerned about poison in a Wretched Crown. This Wretched Crown's gonna scare the heck out of me. Oof. Frail Edge poisoned. That's tough stuff. We probably really want you to hit Exert if you can, so we can pop that barrel. This barrel does 5 damage to adjacent allies when it dies, so it kills both of these snakes if we can manage to kill it. And I really want to reroll you for the hammer. There we go. So this right here kills the barrel. I think we don't bother re-rolling because we could potentially roll something that doesn't kill the barrel. You can't roll any worse. But we want to make sure we don't whiff on that, so... to hit you first with the heavy attack. All we have left is the druid. Okay, not too bad. Goblins and Slimers. Monk and Seer. The Seer is really popular in the Slice and Dice community. I don't think they're that good in general, though. This would have been pretty good in that other run I had, where I couldn't really do anything on turn 1. This would have been a great hero for that turn, or that run. You can grow or foretell, but usually mana and like damage has way more impact on this turn than the following turn. When the Seer is good is when you can stall a lot, because this can turn into a lot of mana if you don't need to spend it now. They might be pretty good for like dealing bosses on like lower difficulties, if I had to guess, might be where some of that comes from, but I feel like you don't have the luxury of using foretell a lot in Unfair. I know sometimes this is like I don't want to say cheesy, but it's a solution to certain fights that represent problems on Unfair. Because if you have something where you can't deal with normally, sometimes you can do it by like stalling and using foretell a lot. I don't know if that is going to be the case for us. But they do generate like a decent amount of mana. The Monk is always pretty solid. They have Cleanse, Redirect Self-Shield thingy, Repel, a lot of health. They can redirect from whoever's wearing the Wretched Crown. which gives us an option for... I think that's actually reason enough. That bumps up the monk quite a bit. I was probably going to take them anyways, but the fact that I can use them on the druid if like they have like inescapable damage, well, the monk can make it escapable. Let's see. Kind of like the growth damage on you. This likely has to get played on the juggler regardless, which just hurts the 2 goblins, which isn't a big deal. You want to reroll this? Hopefully we get a shield from the student and they can protect themselves, but they're not dying this turn anyway, so not a huge deal either way. I guess this sort of works. The monk gets a shield. Can the monk absorb both of them with this? No, they're taking way too much damage. This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It would be -3, so 8. They would die like exactly. But yeah, we can take this now. That looks pretty good. Did juggler just roll? They got 1 cantrip and 2 X's. Okay. Actually, I was thinking I would use this to block, because I was looking for block from the student anyways, but using them in the druid might just be better. I think it's 100% better. Plus, that was a lot of block to begin with. Goblins flee when they're alone, so look at this dice. Cock to die there. So I really just need to kill these 3 this turn if possible, which might be difficult with the brigand on their exert turn. And also this attacking the wrong guy. I'll do something like that. So just killing the slime wins. I'll take that just in case, I guess. Alright. Not too shabby. Now we get a tier 0 item instead of a tier 3 because of our worst items curse. Grass replaces blank sides with blank petrified. Tier 0 items generally do like nothing. Yeah. I haven't seen that many because they're all pretty much opt-in. They're all pretty funny though. They usually have like 2 effects that counterbalance out to do nothing. They have some niche synergies where they can be like decent, but they're supposed to be like, you expect these to do absolutely nothing, and most of them are like jokes. What is this one though? Replace the bottom side with 3 damage, pain, and drink. So drink means you can only use this once per like entire game. But this is 3 damage with 3 pain. That's actually not terrible. Like if I threw that on the student, it would give me like an option. Grass is funny. I want to put grass on the statue, make them like a real statue. This is actually like okay. This isn't worse than an X, and it could represent some value at some point. This is a tough floor. I have to take that. Okay, I can kill the quartz, which feels pretty good as like a goal this turn. Chest is gonna petrify my druid, which is gonna blank these two, I think. This one's gonna summon a bones. The chest flee at the end of the first turn. On fair, you generally have to ignore them. Do I reroll this is the question. No, because this lets me kill the quartz. Actually, no, it doesn't. Yeah, what the heck, I'll reroll that. There you go, nice value. This is what kills the quartz. The quartz has that, they shatter if you bring them down to 2 health. Exactly. I feel like I'm supposed to do that. I can steal the druid's petrify. Which I like in general, but I'm not sure if I like that because of frail edges. I'm a little concerned about letting the druid take so much damage here. Oh, everyone's glowing red because the druid has the wretched crown. Whoa! That gives Wretched Crown some synergies with Strand. Because you save the druid, you save everyone. And you would generate 20 mana every time you save the druid with Strand. And if you don't know why, go back 2 runs ago, I found an infinite that used Strand and Monster Charge. I think it was 2 runs ago. But yeah, I think it would count as saving everyone here with Rescue if you save the druid, which is really interesting. So who's attacking the druid? 2 of these goblins? So you're nearly saved by doing 1 damage to this goblin. You're saved by the monk, so I'm just gonna grab them. I just take the shield? This is a bit better, but I can't do a whole lot better than that. And then I guess I reroll these 2. Nice. How does this look? Can you die? It's kind of sketchy with the druid. Oh, I can kill the goblin. Hang on. Forgot this was generating mana for some reason. So you're taking. So the druid's taking no damage. We can just do this. That looks a lot better. An increment of 1 mana doesn't do anything for us this turn, because we're really looking for burst, and our only other way to generate mana gives us 2. So this is kind of worthless except for the 1 shield, which does have a lot of value with your frail edges, but I'm looking for a kill this turn. Which we just got. Alright, Fnatic and Bell. We can get Sanu or a Jester. Sanu is the Super Brigand, I guess. We don't have anything to chain with Cleave. This side feels so bad because so few things have Cleave. Like in the tier 2s. Jester has Flick, 1 damage, engage, and cooldown. It's going to only be cast once each turn. They can generate 3 mana. They have a dodge, which is okay with frail edges. Rerolls. Man, Jester used to be like kind of like one of the strongest blues. They're in the bottom half now for sure, I feel. They basically have 1 good side, and their spell sucks. So I think that means we have to take the Sanu. I don't like jumping into an Exert dude against like a boss. They have shields, which is pretty good with frail edges. Do you get the Wretched Crown now, or does it stay on the Druid? I think it stays on the Druid, because of like thorns and stuff, which the Sanu is more likely to take damage from. I'm not sure it matters that much either way though. So you can save yourself with this, which I think you should do. Now you can save him? Two of these are basically blanks. I'd rather have any of these 3 sides, but I don't know if it's worth re-rolling. I think I might take that and then re-roll the Monk. Because now the damage and the... both of those sides start to look pretty good. And I got this, which combos pretty well with the Druid. It also pairs really well with the Monk though, because I could do something like this. We plan to kill the Fnatic next turn. Only other option is if I want, or consideration is if I wanted to use growth on the Druid. Oh, this fight's rough because this guy does... Sorry, I assume most people are pretty familiar with like a lot of the stuff in this game, how a lot of the enemies work. But a lot of you probably aren't, so I don't know if I should be going through like every enemy, like at least at the start of fights. I can't explain everything every time, otherwise these would take like 4 to 5 hours to do a run probably. But Gong here, at the end of each turn, 1 damage to all heroes. Juggler and Student actually take 2 damage from that, so Frail Edges is actually pretty rough against this dude. But I'm wondering if I'd rather... let this grow more, so we have a big 4 damage block. Seems pretty nice. I feel like I should shield the Juggler with him summoning an Imp next turn, which is a spiky enemy that they might attack with their cantrip and take double damage from. I think I do like having that grown an extra pip. Okay, this guy's biting the druid. That's rough. The juggler did hit the imp. So they'd be down another 2 hit points if I didn't block for them, so I think that paid off. The juggler, or if the druid dies, we all die. I think we keep this. We're doing 7 damage. I have 6 health. This feels pretty good just to kill the fanatic. I need something that does 1 damage. I guess this does 1 damage. I think I'd like the monk to absorb all the druid's damage too. Alright, we'll reroll both of these. Okay, I think I keep this now just so I can guarantee that the fanatic dies. Two cleanse here means I can ignore the imp. I think I might have to. I actually like the idea of playing balance this turn, which kills the fanatic. Balance, cleanse the druid. Cleansing you won't save you. It blocks 2 damage. Removes the poison. You're still dying by 1, and balance healing you 1 doesn't even save you. So playing balance doesn't make sense this turn, because I probably have to burst block for the druid. Which means juggler hits fanatic. Cleanse shield the druid. Burst cleanse the druid. Or burst shield the druid. I think we have to. Okay. I don't really like that, but it's how the yeah, it's how the dice shook out this round. Man, you're gonna be on really low health. You're gonna actually die next turn, just to the gong again. Could have how many rerolls do I have left? 1? No. If you roll an X, we just lose, so we can't do that. To run with this, I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, you're summoning an imp, which is actually good in this situation. I don't know if the monk blocks this gong effect. I think it does, because it says redirect all enemy effects, and this is an effect. At the very least, I can burst block you again if it doesn't. I think we take that again. I think we just take that. We reroll you for damage. Oh, if you... I was just gonna say, if you hit the imp, you actually are in bad shape. I guess I can't roll you again. It does redirect that. That is nice. I feel like I need to play balance here to save a bunch of people. With frail edges, juggler and student will be dying next turn. This is a rough fight for us. I actually need to kill you. The imp is, of course, targeting the druid. Well, at least the druid clutched out with their force shield here. Oh wait, I can't roll. Oh man, they were so lucky they shielded themselves first. I should have kept that because I could have shielded this student, and then I think everyone survives this this run or this level. But now they don't. Or do they? Oh, I thought I was gonna get a burst after that. Oh, we're not getting gonged anymore. Okay, that simplifies everything. Take out the big gong. Oh my gosh. You had to. I guess I should have seen that coming. Wasn't really anything I could do about that. This looks like a win though. Yeah, I guess you take out the big gong and you don't get gonged anymore. Well, we're gonna call it here after that boss fight, but wow, worse items is actually way worse than I thought it was gonna be, because it actually just gave us a bunch of other random curses. Nothing worse, the one thing that's worse than curses is curses you don't get to choose. And yep, that's pretty tough, but we're gonna get a level 1 item now here on level 9 halfway through the game. So that's nice. I think all things considered, we did okay with handcuffs and wretched crown, but man, this adds so much variance into our fight, because there are some times when someone in your party will die and there's literally nothing you can do about it, just because like I've had guys just take like 22 damage in a turn. I don't know if you guys have seen the meme I made with the snipers attacking the guy with glass blade, which is an item that you lose if the character dies. Like I equipped it on someone and I went to a sniper floor and they ended up taking like 30 damage in a turn. Wretched Crown is like that, but worse. Because you don't lose the item, you lose like the whole run. But this will be interesting. This is a fun run so far regardless. And I think it will be interesting trying to play without having decent items. And also like around this Wretched Crown. Like I'm playing with a lot of stuff right now that I've never like toyed with before. And I like to experiment and learn by doing stuff like that. It's the only way, well, it's one of the best ways to get better at this game. Or any game, is just trying things you haven't tried before. And that is definitely what this run is. For instance, I now know it. I know you can get negative items as level rewards. But yeah, we'll leave that here for now. I hope you all enjoyed this, and really looking forward to continuing this run, which will hopefully have another session up tomorrow. But for now, take it easy everyone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy, guys.